Hi everybody, it's time for a $100 SuperSize video. The sales in this video come from my Facebook group where we have a dedicated thread every month. So make sure you are posting your $100 and over sales here for possible inclusion in these videos. Now, before we start, I wanted to show you something weird or maybe just coincidental that keeps showing up in my eBay experience. You might remember me talking about the rattlesnake belts that I bought on an online auction. So this one sold back in late May. I accepted a $125 offer, so that was great. Then this one sold last week, another rattlesnake belt. And then we had Josh in Washington on the podcast last week, and he told a story about selling the actual rattlesnake rattle on eBay. That was his weirdest sale. So I called him the rattlesnake guy. And then just a few days after his podcast, I was out treasure hunting and found this plush rattlesnake. It's almost 5 feet long. So this was just weird, all these rattlesnake things. I don't know if seeing all of these rattlesnake items has some kind of hidden meaning or some significance, or if it's just a weird coincidence. So I'm just putting this out there. Has anything like this happened to you before in life or eBay, where all of a sudden you start seeing something everywhere? It's just one of those things that make you go, or maybe it just kind of rattles you. Okay, on to the $100 sales. Okay, we're going to start with Stormy. She said Dungeons and Dragons is a pretty well-known BOLO. Paid $20 total at a church sale. Took 3 weeks to sell and 2 years to list. Oops. Slow yard sailing and overpriced estate sales are forcing me to tackle the death pile. The item is vintage 1983 Dungeons and Dragons set 1 and 2 basic expert rules TSR. I don't know what that means. Anyway, it sold for $100. Next up is Lisa Corcoran. Spotted this Mackenzie Childs dip bowl at Goodwill for $2.99. It appears to have been part of a set. It would fit into a large wood bowl, but I couldn't find that anywhere in the store. I could not find this specific bowl anywhere online. I listed it at $100 and it sold at full price plus shipping after 4 months. This is HTF, which stands for hard to find, Mackenzie Childs Courtly Check Snack Dip Bowl. That is a great find. That's on my list and was actually in the first edition of my BOLO book in 2021. There it is, Mackenzie Childs. Ceramics, pottery, vases, dinnerware, cookie jars, canisters, serving pieces with the recognizable Courtly Check pattern. So there's a BOLO for you if you did not know about it already. Okay, moving on to Kim Smith. Paid $3.80 at a family thrift, listed for a few months, took best offer of $100. Circle S Lubbock is the brand, out of Dallas, Texas. Size 50 long black corduroy sport coat, $100. Julie Gambino, purchased at a local thrift store for $7.99, sold on best offer of $100.94 in about a month. Vintage Parker $75 with key, wood pen box case. So a wooden case with a key. $100.94. Next is Annette Embler. I sold Avon back in the 80s and 90s. Yay, Annette. I think everybody did. I used to buy more than I sold. Yes, everybody did that too. I did a basement clean out recently, and this was in one of the boxes. I had forgotten all about having it. I did comps and was happy to see how much it is worth now. It sold for $105 within 10 days. I immediately got a $60 offer at the beginning of the listing but turned it down. The item is complete vintage Avon 1993 children's My First Christmas Story nativity set. And I will say it is rare for Avon items to be worth anything, but some of the specialty items like the hairbrushes and the advent calendars and items like this can be worth money. Usually the perfumes, colognes, and decanters are worthless, and it's funny how when you're out in the wild you see those and there's like 50 of them together, the perfumes and the colognes, and unfortunately in my experience they're just not worth much on eBay. Okay, next is Zachary McDore, the garbage man philosopher. I bought two rare vintage computers a while back, and the seller threw in this parts keyboard that was missing the space bar and the cord. Next Computer was the company that Steve Jobs founded after getting fired from Apple. So this is a vintage Next Computer keyboard for parts or fix, $107.50 for a broken keyboard, but it has historical value as it is tied to Steve Jobs. Okay, Wendy Kruger, one of our jewelry specialists. She said, my sister paid $15 at an estate sale, sold for $108 plus shipping in 9 months. Vintage artist painter's palette brooch, gold tone with rhinestones, multicolor, $108. Diane Wells, it's been a long time since I had a $100 sale. Well, welcome back, Diane. I knew you could do it. And she says she's so excited. I bought this new and packaged set of vintage sheets at my favorite thrift store a couple of weeks ago for $4.99. Took best offer of $110. They were listed about 2 weeks. The item is Sears Young at Heart twin sheet set vintage sailboats, new in package, sold for $110. Next up is Tammy Mitchell. This was a storage unit auction I purchased. I have about 50 cents in this item. Sold in a couple of weeks, took best offer of $112 plus shipping. Vintage needlepoint purse tapestry bag with hummingbird. How pretty. 50 cents, sold for $112. Leisha Rouston bought this Marley Hodgson bag from an estate sale in April for $6. It looked like a vintage, great quality item, so I looked it up before purchasing. Some of these bags sell for over $500 in good condition. I went ahead and grabbed it even though this one was stained all over. Decided to put it up for a 10-day auction starting at $100. It ended up selling for $115.50. Pretty happy with the return. Well, I guess so. Marley Hodgson Gurkha number 5 Examiner briefcase messenger bag. That was a really good investment, and it sold with stains on it. So always give it a try if it's imperfect. You just never know. Andrew Silveroli Bought this off Facebook Marketplace for $60. It took a little over 4 months and sold for full asking price. I probably could have gotten quite a bit more if I had the know-how and means to fully test it out. Still happy to double my money. And this is a camera lens, Canon, and it sold for $120. Jamie Jamila Baker, purchased at Goodwill Outlet for $2, sold in less than 4 days after listing it. Diesel jeans, Y2K gray faux fur lined bomber moto jacket. And it sold for $120. She's got the pop-up message there. Your buyer paid $120. And it cost her $2. Congratulations. Bill Hunt bought these groovy swag lamps at a yard sale for $5. It was late in the morning, so many others had passed them up. Had them listed for just over a week before they sold for full asking price of $129.93. So it looks like the brand is Hollywood Regency. It's a double swag light with opalescent glass. Great keywords, Bill. Good sale. Okay, Brian Rappaport paid $15 at a garage sale a few weeks ago and sold for $129.99 in less than a day. Fujitsu Scan Snap Wi-Fi scanner. $15, sold for just under $130. Okay, Ginger Lamplight. I picked these up at my local thrift store for $15 because they didn't have any keys. My husband had a set very similar, and sure enough, his keys actually did open them. They weren't an exact match, so we took the keys and the bags to a locksmith and made an actual matching key for $10, so we're all in for $25. Sold for best offer of $130 with $30 shipping, sold in about a month. These are Viking bags, hard leather saddle bags with key, hardware, and instructions. Well, good for you, Ginger. You went to a lot of extra trouble, but these sold for a great price. Okay, here's another BOLO. Kathleen Gifford. This is my second batch of selling these gems. These took a longer time to sell, not sure why. I'm guessing it's the scent. I found them at Goodwill back in January. Paid $21 for 6 bottles. I accepted an offer of $130 plus shipping. This is a BOLO in Suzanne's first book. Yes, it absolutely is. And here it is in the 2021 BOLO book. Scrubbing Bubbles Shower Cleaner Liquid was discontinued. The average selling price back then was $25 per bottle, and Kathleen sold for $130 for 6 bottles, so about $21.60 per bottle. So that price has held steady over the years. Hasn't really gone up any. Depends on what the seller wants to sell it for, how long you want to wait. And the point here is that this is a discontinued item, so people are still looking for it all these years later. Okay, Robin Riedel. From my personal collection library, I've had 4 of the 5 for many years on my bookshelf. When I decided I was ready to sell them, I looked on eBay for the 5th volume to complete the set and found it for around $25. I listed the whole set for $150, then recently lowered it to $135, sent many offers, but it just sold for full price plus shipping, and it took about a year or so. Very happy they are going to someone who will enjoy them. And the books are The Leather Stocking Tales, $135 plus shipping. Okay, we've got some more jewelry here. Kathleen Palmer. Paid $8 at an estate sale, sold on auction for $147.50. And I just love these. They're just so happy. 14 karat yellow brushed gold, 1 inch sun face sun charms for hoop earrings. Those are just adorable. $8, sold for $147.50. Okay, Louis Prizzy does not have a toy or a Barbie. Paid $5 at Savers, sold for full asking price of $149.95 after 2 months. Department 56 Phrenology Canineology Treat Cookie Jar. $5, sold for just under $150. Suzanne Akers, bought on Facebook Marketplace for $40, sold in 2 months for $149.99 plus shipping. Joanna Gaines Hearth and Hand with Magnolia Greenhouse Kids Toy. Interesting. $40, sold for just under $150. Kim Furman, I picked this set up at our local library for $9. I took an offer of $150 after 2 days of being listed. Trailblazer Books, a lot of 36 by Dave and Netta Jackson. So $9 and sold for $150. Okay, Shelley Carpenter Wood has something. Guess what? It's yarn. Surprise! She says, guess what? I sold more yarn. Sold for full asking price of $150 in 3 weeks from my own collection that I am downsizing. It is a discontinued color, so will usually sell, especially in larger quantity. Plus, I keep them new, factory sealed, and stored in plastic totes. That's a great idea for any crafter because I was a crafter once and we just tend to overbuy. We want to do all these projects that, we're just never going to live long enough to do them all. But we like to have the supplies. So this is Lion Brand Mandala Yarn Peacock lot of 12. Her personal collection and sold for $150. Okay, Jennifer Hawtrey, who will be an upcoming guest on the podcast, and she talks about this item. This is a Jellycat I Am Toby Toad plush stuffed animal. She paid $3.99 and it sold for $150. Love selling that plush. Jennifer Elliott paid $6.99 at Goodwill, sold for $155 plus shipping. Went through and counted all the pieces and it was only missing one card. Sold in less than 24 hours. It was in great shape for being from the 60s. Hopefully this is the start of a good May. The item is vintage Transogram, the West Point Story Game. $7 at Goodwill, sold for $155. Okay, Leslie Weigel, bought at a thrift store for 49 cents. Sold in less than 24 hours for full price, less a 10% coupon, plus shipping. Buyer was all in at about $175. What caught my attention was it's made in USA, and at 49 cents, it was a no-brainer, figuring it would be great for personal use, if not for resale. I was floored by the sold comps. Apparently, it's quite sought after by makeup lifestyle influencer types. I listed in the middle of the comps range because it was quite yellowed, but compared to the ones that sold for $200. Not mad about it. This is a vintage 70 Birch Barone makeup organizer. Okay. $169 for something that cost 49 cents. Leslie Kidd. This sale is 100% thanks to this group. Yay, I'm so glad. I went back to an estate sale on the last day and found this in a box of Christmas ornaments. I've seen comments here about valuable ornaments, and this one had an interesting name, Strong Water. Normally, I don't even look in boxes of ornaments. I have no idea why anyone would pay this much for a Christmas ornament, but okie dokie. I paid $1 and it sold in under a month. J. Strongwater, hand blown Swarovski crystal glass heart ornament from 2003. $175, and she paid a dollar. Francisco Infante. I saw this camera in an estate sale and wondered if I could even have a shot at it. I was so surprised to see it still there, so I snatched it up and kept my composure, I think, and bought it for $25. It sold within a month after my using it for a bit and listing for $179 plus shipping. Picture that! Ha ha ha. Good one, Francisco. Nikon Coolpix digital camera sold for $179. Joshua Harrison, and he was recently on the podcast as the rattlesnake guy. I have to entertain myself and make up fun names for people. He paid $5 at a garage sale for all 68 books, sold in 3 months for full asking. And this is a set of 68 Agatha Christie paperback books from the 70s. $5, sold for $179.99. Leslie Wilson found this brand new Owl Cam dash cam at Goodwill for $10, still sealed in the box. Sold for full asking of $195 in about 2 weeks. So there you can see it is a sealed Owl Cam dash cam. $10, sold for $195. Next up is Janet Turnage. I know nothing about anime except that it's worth taking a chance on. I picked these 8 Blu-rays up for $1 at a library book sale. Sold in 5 days for full price of $200. So there you can see, I guess it's pronounced Inuyasha, Anime Complete Series 1 through 6 Blu-ray. These were $1 and sold for $200. Next is Jenny Payan, purchased for $10 at a local thrift store. Sold overnight for asking price plus shipping to Chile. Of course, my kids thought it would be a great addition to their hardly played with tracks, but Mama said no. I plan on using this for an experience. They've got more than enough toys. The item is Thomas and Friends. Thomas at Tidmouth Sheds Box. Okay, $10, sold for $200. Tamarin Smith McClure. I bought this CB radio lot at a yard sale for $50. I was hoping the auction would go a bit higher, but it was still a profit. So you can see it is a CB radio lot, untested 13 pieces. $50, sold for $203.56. Denise Rogge. I found this box of My Singing Monsters at Goodwill for $5. I picked it up out of curiosity, but put it back because I don't have much success with interactive toys. I made one more pass through the toy aisle on the way to the checkout and decided to look them up. I saw individual ones bring in good money, and there were 3, so I decided to take a chance. When I got home, I could thoroughly research it and found an exact set recently sold for $250. So I set mine at the same price, and it sold in less than 48 hours to someone in Brazil. And I've never heard of My Singing Monsters, so this is a good one. $5, sold for $250. Okay, we've got Beth Murphy. I'm putting my 5 in this comment. see below because I've been meaning to post some lately as they all have different stories someone might get inspired by. Okay, so what she meant was she put all of her sales under one post on the group, which is fine. So these boots were bought for $25 at a local tag sale. Put some time in cleaning and conditioning them, sold easily for $300 in about 2 months. And those are quite sharp. Exotic cowboy boots, rattlesnake. See, there it is again, rattlesnake. Western boots, Cowtown, handmade USA. Great sale. Terry Wilcox bought this from a friend in January for $100. Listed it high, but got an offer for $300 that I decided to go ahead and take. My friend had collected nativity sets and had never unboxed this one, still in original packaging. I probably could have gotten more, but almost $200 profit is good for me. The item is Rare Vintage Buyer's Choice Kindle Nativity 13-piece set. 100 sold for 300. Donald Hucks purchased this ventilator from a local auction for $107. Sold in a day for best offer of $330 plus shipping. It was 40 pounds and went to a forwarding office. Care Fusion T-Bird Series ventilator. Powers on for parts only. How about that? And this was $107 and it sold for $330. Okay, Judith Gurney. I bought it years ago at Toys R Us for about $89.99. Sold for $400. Lego Star Wars Jedi Defender Class Cruiser Retired Set. Talk about your money appreciating. Where else can it appreciate this much legally? Anyway, it was $90 and she sold it for $400. Cheryl Henderhan, and she talked about this on her podcast a few weeks ago. Credit goes to hubby for this sale. He reminded me I gave him the look when he purchased it at a local auction. Paid $95 for the complete bike, which was a 1966 Schwinn Stingray. Listed the seat for $549, took best offer of $450 after a few days of being listed. Speedometer from the bike has also sold for $50, and her husband is working on getting the other parts off. So there you go. Schwinn Silver Glitter Tufted Seat. It's a banana seat. Remember those? $450. Okay, Suzanne Keene. These are more pieces of the D. Porthalt luxury linens my mom and I found in March. They're beautifully hand embroidered in France. One buyer purchased 2 sets from me over the weekend, one for $600 and one for $350. Total sale of $950. My cost was $16. Way to go. I hope you're doing something fun with that money, like taking a vacation or going to a day spa or something. So there you can see the D. Porthalt of France embroidered cotton pillow sham set. Wow, that's just amazing. Okay, and we're going to end with Jody Clark. Lot of 2 Lalique large Panthers, black crystal. Paid $80 total at a thrift store for these 2 Lalique black crystal Panthers. I priced them pretty high and took an offer of $1,800 with free shipping. Took 3 weeks to sell. And again, where can your money appreciate other than eBay? It's just an amazing return. So congratulations, Jody. Okay, we have wrapped up another issue of $100 sales. Thanks to everyone for participating, and congratulations on your sales even if you weren't in the video. Remember, keep working through your death pile. Keep listing, even if things aren't selling. The item could sell right away. Your future self will thank you. I hope everyone is having a nice summer, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.